Good morning, everybody. My name is Dre. I'm a customer success engineer here at Moveworks, and I'll be leading our AI agent workshop today. I think this is going to be a pretty cool use case. This is one that I've actually been looking forward to for quite a while now, just because it's been blocked by not having access to Plugin Studio. But this is something that I think will be pretty powerful. So today, the use case we're discussing is how to build use cases around submitting out of office in Slack and Google Calendar. Um, Next week, we'll talk more about PagerDuty incident and on-call engineering update use cases, again, primarily building with agentic or Plugin Studio. And then our first use case that we have scheduled for next year, which is coming up very quickly on January 8th, is HubSpot opportunity management. So if you are interested in any of these use cases, please go ahead and register for them as soon as you can. We'll, I'm sure, have very productive sessions on those days. But again, going back to what we're talking about today, we'll be building a use case so that way a user can come to the bot and say, oh, I need to, set myself as out of office. And then it's able to do so in two of these like keystone systems, so Slack and Google. The general process could be applied to really any system that is required to be able to set to out of office, depending on the API compatibility with Creator Studio. But today, what we'll be doing is we want to set the status of the user in Slack to be some out of office notification message, and then we also want to create a new event on a Google Calendar. Which shows that they're also out of office. So let's go ahead and look at the user experience that we're sort of shooting for here, and we'll use that as the foundation for how we want to build this. So hopefully we have a very simple user experience. A user can come to the bot and say something like, I forgot to let people know that I'm on vacation. Can you mark me as out of office until Friday at 5? So we're giving some information about when do we want the out of office time to end. We want to trigger the use case by mentioning that we're saying we're out of, we want to be out of office. Maybe we want to pass in something like a start date as well. That's another configurable option. We want the bot then to reply that it's working on it. This is just sort of how Plugin Studio use cases work. It'll tell you like, okay, I'm in process to set you to out of office, and then finally get a update status notification once the out of office has been completed. So very, very simple as far as user experience goes, because most of the work really is behind the scenes. So we can go ahead and take a look at what that architecture looks like. So this is going to be a pretty simple or I should say regular Plugin Studio use case architecture where we build a plugin that in this case will be comprised of 3 actions. So when I say action, you can think of that as an API call. So for each one of these actions, we need to make sure we have a connector configured. In this case, a connector for Slack and then a connector for Google. We're going to use the Slack connector to first get the user's Slack ID, because this is important for making the API call to set the user's profile. And then we want to actually make the call to the user's profile to update it. Asynchronously, we also need to create an event in Google Calendar, and we're going to do so using the Google Calendar event API endpoint. So before we actually look at sort of the build steps, I think what I want to do is sort of look at the APIs and sort of explain the flow. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of my slide here. And let's first go ahead and look at the Slack API that's most important to us, which is this users.profile.set. So this method is going to be a post method, and we want to we only really, for this use case, care about the user's custom status and then potentially like their status emoji. So if you go down here to profile field, let's see if we can find it. Emoji. There we go. Status emoji and status text. I mentioned earlier you might want to have something like an end date. So you could do something like status expiration. I'll leave that discussion for the Q&A at the end of this call. But in principle, you could basically do a conversion within your agentic use case. Within your compound action, you would define this conversion, maybe using a Python script, or if you have an API that you want to use to do the conversion, you can do that too. Then using that Unix timestamp, you could then pass that as status expiration. In my, actually, here's a great example of what this looks like. So in the demo that we'll use today, we're not going to use status expiration. We're just going to set status text and status emoji. At least around where, around Moveworks with my coworkers and I, we don't generally set this sort of status expiration. We kind of just go in after the fact and, turn it off whenever we get back in office. But I did just want to call it that you do have this option if you wanted to expand on this use case. The other major API call that we want to make, again, is this Google Calendar Events API. Again, this is a post API to the Google Calendar API endpoint, specifically to the events. When it says calendar ID, we need to pass in the user's Gmail address. And so you'll see in my demo that we're actually leveraging my another email address of mine, not my work email address. So if there's some confusion there, I hope that explains that. Lots of different options here. The one that I really like in particular is this option to set what kind of event it is. I believe it's called event type. And you can actually set this as an out-of-office event type. Again, because of the way that we do things here at Moveworks, we don't actually necessarily set an out-of-office event type notification. We actually just use a regular event as if it's like a big meeting block. So that's how the use case is configured here. Again, in principle, you can configure this use case to be exactly as you need for your particular business needs and set this out-of-office value for event type. That would do the same thing. There's no reason why you can't do that. All right, so let's go ahead and look back at our architecture diagram. And again, you'll remember that we need to get the user's ID. So if I open up Postman here, we can take a look at what the API call looks like to Slack. And again, you have the sort of user input, and the user needs to be the user ID. So we're setting it to users.profile.set. And then the status text, I think, should just be standard. I think you should always say out of office, just to make it clear that, without any hesitancy of what this person is doing. I've also gone ahead and set a status emoji for this palm tree. And that's really all you need for this API call. For the Google Calendar version, we need to pass in the start date time and the end date time. The bot's able to figure this out based on just the way that you say it as an end user. So if you come to the bot and you say, I need to take Friday as an out of office day, let's say from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It'll go ahead and create these timestamps for us in the same format. And then pass that into the use case. So no conversions are needed, no like weird regex strings, nothing crazy. The bot really does the work for you there. In addition, we need to put in the time zone. So we're going to have the bot ask the question, what time zone are you in? Again, I want it to be able to sort of figure this out. So you'll see in the demo sort of what I mean by figure this out, but it'll be able to figure this out on its own. Finally, again, I think summary should really be the same thing every time. So we'll just leave the description, if you will, of the event as out of office. We'll make that not configurable. Okay, so then I'm not going to go through all the actions, but I do want to go through one just to sort of talk about what this looks like to set up. Here is the lookup user by email Slack action that we have configured. This action is going to leverage our Slack instance. It's going to go ahead and pass an email address as a parameter because we know the email address of the end user, and we want to just look that up based on their, or to get their user ID. So we have this set up. We are going to go ahead and have this input variable. Maybe it'll be something like, you like to do it moveworks.com .ai. I haven't tested this action, so I don't know for sure that this will work in this instance. I haven't refreshed this, so if this fails, I apologize, but if it works, that's great. It looks like it works, so it's going to go ahead and return my information from Slack, and again, we're going to be able to pull this Slack ID out later on. So this is one of the actions. I think that this is sort of indicative of the kinds of configurations you'll make for the others as well. So you'll need to build an action. Once you have this get Slack user ID by email address action, you need to build another action to actually submit the custom status in Slack and then create an event in Google Calendar. So that's 3 actions total, which again are sort of highlighted on this diagram. Once you have those 3 actions, we can go ahead and look at our steps. So this is the compound action that I've created. You can see the sort of order of operations here. So the first step I want to do is get the user's ID by their email address from Slack. That's the action we saw earlier. This is me calling that action. This action has one input variable, which is user email. So we need to make sure that we're passing in a user email address here, which I've configured as an input variable. So the user can either specify the email address in this case. So let's say they say like, I want to do this for somebody else. Then this has the capability of doing that. You could build this use case so that way it's not possible to pass that in. And then instead of the value here, you would pass in like user.emailadder. That makes sure that only the user who is making the request is able to set themselves as out of office. It's sort of building the use case such that the user doesn't have the ability to set other people to out of office. But for today's demo, we have this set, so that way it will just sort of, whatever email address we pass, it'll be able to take. Once we do that, we get the user data into this output key, and then we need to pass that into our Slack set out of office in Slack action. So the input for this action is this Slack user ID, because again, if you'll remember, if we look at our Postman call, the Slack user ID is the primary input that we'll need. So let's go ahead and go back. We go ahead and set the Slack out of office message, which again, I have just sort of hard coded. And then the output key is going to be just like the success message from the API call. So hopefully this is a 200 message. We get a success notification, and that'll allow the bot to know like, okay, this worked. We can go ahead and tell the end user that their out of office has been set. Finally, I have an action here configured for the Google Calendar. So again, we need a couple of inputs here. So we're going to do both the start time, the end time, the email address of the user, and then the time zone. So again, you'll want to configure these as parts of these inputs. We're just going to reuse the email address input because this will be the same in both cases. Start date and end date, we'll go ahead and supply with an example, just so the bot knows kind of what the format looks like. Configure the data type as string. And then finally for time zone, we know that the time zone should look something like this. So I'm going to pass that in. Again, the bot, this will sort of help the bot understand how to convert the user's utterance into these values to slot resolve them. Once again, we're going to save the return from the Google output into this output key, Google return. And then we're just going to pass that, the final step, we're going to pass that to the bot. So we're going to pass both the Google data and the Slack return data, again, just so it knows what the status of the action is. So that is the complete compound action. Again, the first step, get user ID by email address for Slack. Second step, pass that to Slack to actually set the out of office notification or custom status. And then finally, Google, we want to create an event using that same data we used before, plus a little bit of extra. All right. I expect that if you do have any questions, again, we'll have some time at the end for questions and answering. So please hold on to your questions and we'll definitely get to them. All right, finally, let's go ahead and take a look at what this use case looks like in action. So you have to bear with me. I copied the utterances so I don't forget them. Let's go ahead and ask, can you help me set myself to out of office? Again, we want this to trigger the use case, and then it's going to go ahead and ask us some follow-up questions, because if you'll notice, I didn't actually add all the information that we need. So for the start date, end date, and time zone, we can be very explicit, or we can go ahead and just say it how I want to say it here. It's just Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just go ahead and use my time zone. So we're not really passing in the information as the bot is expecting it to, so it's going to have to do some conversions on its own. All right, so you can see it's going to go ahead and do some translations. It's going to do a time zone lookup to understand what my time zone is, and then it's going to say it back to me. So it's going to set it from Friday, December 13th, 2024, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then it will set this as the America Denver time zone. All right, now we're getting some updates, and it says that regarding my out of office status, my status has been successfully set in Slack. The process is now going to set in Google Calendar. I'll keep you updated. And now it's been set in Google Calendar. So all of these values have now been configured. And that's it. So before I move on from this demo, I just wanted to highlight again the very minimal amount of information that the end user had to actually pass in order to set themselves in out of office in two different places. So even if you are somebody who prefers to use the native tools for these tasks, you're going to save time doing it this way instead. So really, really easy use case to set up fundamentally, really easy use case to use, and really high impact as far as the amount of time that you're actually saving for your end users. All right, so before we move on to the Q&A section, I'm going to go ahead and just share a couple of learning resources that you can rely on going forward. Of course, please visit us again for these webinars. We're available. We try to do one about every week or so. We do skip a couple of weeks here and there just because of holidays and things like that. So as you saw, the next week we'll do one, and then our next use case after next week will be January 8th. But the other resources I wanted to share are these Creator Studio Developer Certification course. You can find this on our Moveworks Academy. Really helpful resource with guided training modules, step-by-step videos. It'll sort of walk you through setting up some key use cases just to get you familiar with the Creator Studio platform. And I believe that's been updated at this point to show agentic use cases, some plugin studio use cases. So I highly recommend going through this, especially if this is your first time building in Creator Studio. In addition, we have a documentation portal, which is sort of just reference material for all things Moveworks, including things like API documentation, feature functionality documentation. And then the thing I really want to call out are these tutorials and use case guides that walk you step by step through building use cases that we have found as having been successful at other customers, sort of keystone use cases. Really, really helpful resource. We're putting a lot of time in expanding these as well. So I think you'll see in the next couple of months sort of even more use cases added to that library. And then finally is the developer community. If you go to community.moveworks.com, this is kind of like a forum that you have access to as a Moveworks customer. You can ask questions that are then read and answerable by other customers who have access to community, or folks like myself, people internal to Moveworks, engineers, product managers, product owners, things like that. So extremely helpful resource. I highly recommend going there. Okay, that's the end of my spiel. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. We'll open things up to the Q&A section of this call. So if you have any questions about this use case, I would put priority on those. And then if you have any other questions sort of about Moveworks or Creator Studio in general, I'm happy to take those as well. Okay, oh, let's see. Christian, you've raised your hand. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Oh, hello, Christian. I appreciate you raising your hand. What is your question?
Oh, sorry, I was gonna type it up. I was wondering, is there a specific module just for like this feature that you guys have?
Oh, you're talking about like purchasing SKU, is that correct?
Uh sure, and also like the how you showed like the build out in in Creator Studio. Like is there like a guide where we'd be able to like I don't know if it's I guess it would be specific to our own Slack environments where we could like just test it out on our end, or we'd have it like built out like you already did to see the results.
Yeah, you'd have to build it out to see the results.
Right.
That said, I do think there is a plugin guide coming if there's not one published already. We have a process sort of improving every week on that. So I know that we have several lined up that are getting near ready to publish. I believe that's one of them. So maybe when that's done, I'll follow up on the community post that I'll create for this webinar and link it there.
All right, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Well, we still have plenty of time. I'm not seeing any more questions coming through, so I'm going to go ahead and give it until 11:55. If I don't see any more questions, we'll go ahead and close it up a little bit early then. But if you do end up dropping before we get there, thank you very much for joining, and we'll catch you next week. But again, feel free to stick around and ask questions if you have any. Okay. Well, it looks like we're all set, so I'm going to go ahead and close things up. But thank you again, everybody, for joining this call today. We'll catch you next time and look forward to our webinar for next week. Have a good one.